Infinite Frontier, the new direction for the DC Universe. Brand new stories, brand new histories, brand new origins. Today we're going to be covering 3 of those issues, and we are the Comicstorian channel, where we take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Infinite Frontier is the brand new direction of DC. Think of it as the DC rebirth of 2021. And with that, that means that we have new issues for brand new storylines happening every week. You guys seemingly enjoyed us covering more obscure storylines during Future State and during King in Black. The best way for us to do that is to combine them with storylines you may be interested in. If you want to know more about the direction we're taking with the channel for these Friday-Saturday videos, and only for these Friday-Saturday videos, stick around to the ending, but I don't want to waste the time of individuals who clicked it just wanting their storylines. Today we're going to be covering Batman Urban Legends, which includes the Red Hood storyline, then Joker number 1, and then Wonder Woman number 700. Kicking this off, we have Batman Urban Legends number 1. The first story is Red Hood. It was a dark night in Gotham as a man runs through the freight harbor yelling that he doesn't know anything. Suddenly he slams into a metal container and breaks his nose, but as he gets back up, he continues to run. But before he could get past the clearing, he's shot in the arm and Red Hood tells him to relax. It's rubber bullets. I can shoot you again, or we can talk about the new drug that's making its rounds. As Red Hood gets closer, the man shouts that he doesn't know anything about it. Don't shoot! And Red Hood presses the gun against the man's head. He panics, stating that he only knows where he gets it. The building on the corner of 7th and Orchard. Red Hood pulls back his gun. He knows the junkie is telling the truth. It's time to see if this info is any good. This new drug is the kind that gives people a sense of euphoria and extremely pleasant hallucinations. They're called cheer drops. It all sounds good, except the addicts can get trapped in that state of cheer, walking in front of cars, drowning, committing self-harm, all while witnessing their greatest dreams coming true. But while he's making his way to the building that the man gave him, Red Hood overhears 2 officers stating that they just received a shots fired call. One asks the other if they want to check it out, and the second officer asks, with no backup? No chance. First one says that it could just be kids. Last week, McAdams and Rodriguez chased a bunch who were shooting bottles down by the wharf. Gangbangers showing them how to use guns before initiating them. The second officer says, really? This city? Kids should just be kids. It's sad to see them get raised around this stuff. Those words remind Red Hood of a time when he was younger, back when Batman first brought him in. It was before Batman actually took him out on patrol, and Alfred would remind him that he should be training rather than lazily hanging around the cave. With nothing else to really do, the young Jason did just that, and when he went to get a pair of batarangs, he noticed another room in the armory, one that was filled with guns. Before Jason could even reach up, Batman appeared behind him, stating that he isn't allowed in here. And Jason asked, "What is this? Don't you hate guns?" Batman responded with he does, but he still needs to know them for forensics work. He needs to master everything, including the things that he hates. Guns are a coward's weapon, and we will not be cowards, Jason. Now, let's see how good you become at long-range knife targets. Meanwhile, in the current day, elsewhere in Gotham, Batman has also witnessed the effects of the new drug as a man who thinks that he's at an amusement park jumps off of a building. Batman quickly jumps to save the man, thinking that he's going down a roller coaster, setting him down, telling him that he's going to be okay. But as Batman leaves, he takes with him the used cheer drop packages. Back with Red Hood, he investigates the building that the junkie told him about when he hears sniffling from the other side of a door. He looks in to find a child screaming to see him. So Red Hood takes off his helmet, telling him that it's okay. He's not gonna hurt anyone. Is this your mom? The panicked child tells him yes. She was in the bed laughing and happy, and now she's... Red Hood looks at the woman, stating that she's okay. She's just asleep. What's your name? The child cries. Tyler. Red Hood tells him, okay, I'm gonna get your mom some help, but do you have a dad or another mom? Tyler says that his dad is at work. His name is Andy. So after calling for an ambulance, Jason calls Oracle, stating that he needs to locate a person. She asks him what is it for, and Red Hood says that it's the kid's mom. She OD'd on that new street drug. He's alone. Shortly after that, Oracle gets another call, but this time from Batman. He tells her that he's run some tests on the teardrops. The drug is a modified version of Scarecrow's fear gas, seemingly creating the opposite effect, which means that it's likely that Dr. Crane is in fact not dead. He'll need the current activities of all of Scarecrow's known associates. But as Oracle hears the request, Batman asks if she's there, and she tells him, actually, Red Hood is also investigating the drug? I know you two aren't exactly friends, but... Batman turns on the Batmobile, telling her, Jason is a killer. I'm going to do this alone, Barbara. Later, outside of Andy's work, Red Hood tells Tyler that he's going to have to wait here. Can you be a superhero and do that? Tyler asks if he can pick his name, and Red Hood tells him sure, but he'll have to stay put and wear the super mask while he gets his dad. So Red Hood fits his mask over Tyler's head and tells him, if anybody bad comes, all you have to say is, Oracle, I need help. Now, what's your superhero name? Tyler asks, what's yours? It's Red Hood. Well, then I'm gonna be the Blue Hood. I like blue. That's perfect. Sit tight. I'll be right back, okay? Blue Hood. But of course, this rundown building is not the ideal place for someone to work. Not unless you're a construction worker, or someone really not wanting people to see what you're doing. As Red Hood gets to the top of the building, he sneaks in through a window, and a man with a gun asks, who the hell is he? Red Hood quickly kicks out the legs of the gunman, and then he sees that the place is actually where the teardrops are being manufactured. He jumps down, tackling more of the dealers, asking which one of them is Andy, and a man runs out of the building, and Red Hood follows, kicking down the door in his path. He takes one shot at the man's back, and he trips, but Red Hood tells him not to worry. Rubber bullets. Is your name Andy? The man rolls over. Yeah, who wants to know? I'm here with Tyler, your son. His mom is in a coma from the drug. I came here because I didn't want Tyler to end up with the state, but it looks like that's what's gonna happen anyway. Andy laughs. Who cares? The kid was a pain in the ass. Him and his mother. Honestly, I don't care if he lives or dies. The kid's a whiny brat. Even when I gave the kid his own supply to keep him happy. Both those leeches can go straight to... But before Andy could finish, Red Hood fires 3 more shots into Andy's chest. Except they weren't rubber bullets. Andy slumps back onto the ground, blood pooling around him. Red Hood falls to his knees. Oh God, the kid, what have I done? The next story in Batman Urban Legends is that of Harley Quinn and Batman. Back then, it was joyous and carefree when Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy would go out robbing places for the good of it all while saving any plants that may be trapped in undesirable climates. One of those nights happened to be at Penguin's Iceberg Lounge, where the two made off with a lot of money, as well as a potted plant that had no business being in the cold. But now, Harley finds herself in her old, rundown hideout where her and Ivy used to stay. She thinks to herself that Virginia is where lovers go. Paris is the city of love. New York is the backdrop for every rom-com about a protagonist who no longer remembers the meaning of love. Gotham, though? Gotham is where the only thing people love is psychosis. Or so she thought. This place was supposed to be where her and Ivy would plant a garden, but instead of just making things grow, Ivy said that nurturing and letting the plants grow on their own was the fun part. But now, she's gone. As lightning strikes, the sound of thunder startles Harley, causing her to drop a picture of the two of them, shattering the glass frame. Harley reaches down to the picture and sees the broken glass, and then thinks back to when she pricked her finger on a thorn. Ivy said that she watched as people literally punched, stabbed, and shot her, sometimes all at once. And she said that a flower hurt her. She told Harley that she was a mess, but she loved her for it. That was when Harley knew that she loved Ivy too. And now, well, there's nothing. Everything is so dark and gray. However, just as Harley is about to leave, there's something that she sees out of the corner of her eye. A potted plant. It was one that Ivy had given her, and funny enough, it was the plant from when they went on their first date. Poison Ivy. Harley looks at the dying plant, stating that Ivy used to tell her that she was too impatient, said that a watched plant never grows. She knew coming back to Gotham didn't mean anything would be like the old days, but she had just wished that that was the case. She wishes that Pamela was here. If she needs to learn a little patience, Pamela will be worth it. Our next story is The Caretaker, featuring Black Lightning and Katana. As night falls over a tower in the middle of a forest in Japan, Black Lightning sits injured, asking Metamorpho if he's still there. Metamorpho groans, asking, "Where are you? Who's that down there?" Black Lightning tells him that it's okay. He knows that he hasn't been the best friend lately. Wait, Don't you remember what happened? Any of it? Man, guess that was some spell. Earlier that day, a group of assassins chased down Black Lightning and Katana as they tried to escape by the sea when bullets started to pelt their boat. Black Lightning yells out, "They're back!" as he tries to stop as many as he can, and Katana shifts gears, telling him to hang on. The assassins begin to fire arrows, and Black Lightning laughs. Haha, really? These magic assassins are using arrows? Well, then I need to do this. He uses his lightning, and the arrows begin to shift side to side to avoid being struck. Katana tells him that using organic matter is much easier for them to control. One of the assassins yells that Katana will pay for her failure, and those that stand with her will share her fate. The magic-using assassin concentrates guiding the arrows down, but as Black Lightning takes out some of them, one of them hits him in the shoulder. But seeing the two are not stopping the magic user tells the others to let the other one go. The assassin before fires a rocket into the sky, but suddenly it detonates before hitting them. Black Lightning asks what is that, and soon the smoke cloud expands and Metamorpho says, "You broke your word, Katana. Now there's no escape. You have to pay the price." Back in the tower, Black Lightning says that whatever spell they used on him got updated, and then they stashed here together so they could control her. Metamorpho says that he's starting to remember. Thing, where is she? What happened to Katana? Black Lightning says, well, she and the one responsible for all of this is probably having a real interesting conversation right now, but whatever is happening here has nothing to do with this. I can get us out of here, but it's gonna hurt like hell, and it's the only... Metamorpho tells him to just do it, and Black Lightning laughs, telling him, no hesitation, you are remembering. Black Lightning focuses his lightning into the tower, telling him, okay, Rex, wake up so we can pay them back. As lightning begins to jolt through the tower, Metamorpho's face appears on it as he twists, shouting in pain. And our last story is The Long Con, featuring an old favorite, Grifter. Years ago in Midway City, Grifter, before he even got the name, found himself in the middle of a heated shootout with his mercenaries fighting against Mr. Freeze. His brother, using the name, was ordered to provide cover for everyone while the team escaped. Cole was still trying to get his bearings about everything when he decided that he'd be the one to provide cover. So without telling anyone, he ran out and started to draw the attention of all of the gunmen, eventually getting shot. In an effort to try and save him, Cole's brother runs out to try and bring him back, but suddenly a grenade goes off. The two lay motionless, nearly dead, Cole's brother telling him, look at that! The cavalry is here! Superman is taking care of it. Cole? Cole! Now on the outskirts of Gotham, Grifter smokes a cigarette, looking at his brother's mask as a female voice in his head tells him that his name is Cole Cash, the man who calls himself Grifter. He's the best there is at what he does, except for Deathstroke and Deadshot and Lady Shiva. Well, a lot of people, really. But he's still really good at what he does. His pulse quickens as his hands steady. It's time to get to work. He's a loner, a rebel. No man wants to cross him. No woman wants to be with him. He is Grifter, pulling on his mask, telling the voice to shut up. He has work to do. The voice asks, has anyone ever told him that he's getting boring in his old age? And Grifter says that he's 2 years younger than them. And yes, she says that all the time. Grifter looks out onto the estate, a helicopter landing, and he walks up asking if he can help them. The men get out reaching for their guns, and Grifter quickly knocks one of the men back, beginning to push down the others. As he punches on, a man runs up yelling, "You imbecile!" The old man lunges, but Grifter moves out of the way, causing the old man to lose his balance, falling into the pool. The old man grabs a hold of Grifter's coat, pulling him in, and then Grifter realizes that the man who dragged him down was their boss. The men who they just fought were bodyguards of the Prime Minister, who was on their way to attend to the party. A short while later inside, Lucius tells Grifter that he's doing a real good job as a bodyguard. He's supposed to be inconspicuous. Grifter says that if that just messed up the deal of Kurylenko, then they can dock his pay. Lucius says that he already did. It was a $1.5 billion deal, and after spitting out his drink, Grifter says, maybe we can work out a payment plan. Like take $100 off my paychecks for the next 13 million weeks? Later that night, Lucius and Grifter head back, and Lucius says that he's going back to the office to go over a few things. They can go out for the night. Grifter asks if he's fired, and Lucius tells him no, just relax. Take a night off. Find someone nice to talk to. Grifter gets out of the car, asking if he's sure. If you need anything, just call me, Lucius. But Lucius slams the door, telling him, I won't. Good night. So a short while later at the bar, Grifter pours himself a drink, telling the bartender that the bottle is staying. But before he could even have his drink, a man walks up telling him that he'll see him now. Grifter sighs, telling him that he owes him a bottle, but the man ignores the remark and tells him to come. They need to frisk him. As Grifter stops, he says that he's clean, but the man pulls out a gun, a knife, a pocket knife, a smaller gun, and a grenade. The man asks if there's any more, and Grifter says that he isn't sure. You should keep checking. Suddenly, a voice says that he's fine, and Penguin steps out of the shadows. He says that he has held up his end of the bargain. Meet Noah Freeze. But there was one thing that was strange. While doing a background check on you, why does the name Marlowe keep coming up? Grifter quickly grabs a gun from one of the bodyguards and he tells him that he understood that the Penguin was a businessman. Can they just do business or not? So later, Grifter lights up a cigarette and the voice in his head tells him that it went well. Want to come over? She just got a new part. But Grifter says that they already talked about not doing this over the radio or in person. She says that he's right. It's just that she knows how stressed he's been with the new gig and Grifter tells her that he's got company. He's got to go. A few moments later, Batman jumps down to follow, but Grifter leaps out of the shadows of the knife, telling him that he is much better than him at this. Batman presses a button on his glove, sending out a blinding flash, spinning back, knocking Grifter down. Grifter then kicks upwards into Batman's groin, but getting zero reactions, Grifter asks, "Really? Nothing?" As Grifter jumps up and starts to recklessly swing, Batman catches his arm, asking, "Why were you at Penguin's bar? Who were you meeting there?" Grifter says his old friend Jack Daniels, but Batman subdues him, telling him, "You may think that you're one of the good guys, Grifter, but Halo is playing you." Grifter struggles, telling him that he actually works for Lucius. It's nice having a rich guy pay your bills. You should get one. Maybe you wouldn't be so angry. But you know what? I know why you're mad. It's because I know your secret. Batman pauses. Secret? At a moment of hesitation, Grifter kicks upwards into Batman's face. Batman slams Grifter down, telling him, "You're lying." But Grifter laughs. "Haha, be honest. You didn't even know if I was some Bat-person hybrid until a few weeks ago." Grifter reaches for his gun, pointing at Batman's neck, but Batman disarms him and Grifter yells, "God, you're strong!" As the two tussle, Batman eventually rolls off and Grifter asks, "What, are you going to arrest me?" "I didn't even do anything illegal. Plus, Batman isn't a cop, you just act like one." Batman leaves him be. "You'd better watch yourself." And Grifter asks him, "Is your name Dave? You look like a Dave." The next day, Grifter sneaks into Wayne Enterprises, accidentally spilling coffee onto one of the passing guards. He says that he's so sorry, just let him help. The man pushes him off, telling him that he'll take care of it. Just get the hell out of here. And Grifter yells, "Sorry again! Just make sure to send the dry cleaning to Laura, okay?" The man asks him who is that, and as they leave, Grifter holds up the ID from the guard who he spilled the coffee on, heading into the security room. Later that night at the river, the police put up caution tape around the scene as Nightwing swings in to examine everything. Batman tells him that he's getting slow, but Nightwing tells him that he thought he was actually the first here. Any idea who did this? The two look down at the dead Nora Freeze, and Batman says, "She had a run-in with a man who calls himself Grifter." Next up, we have Wonder Woman 770. The sounds of clashing steel can be heard throughout the battlefield as men and women charge headfirst into combat. But among the crowds, a woman groans as she gets up. A man reaches to her, stating that this is no place to rest. "Give me your hand." The woman weakly reaches, asking, "Where is she? How did I get here?" And the man laughs, "Splendid, you must be new. In that case, let me be the first to welcome you to Asgard." He then tells her to take a moment to get herself sorted. It can be a bit overwhelming at first. I was Sigorier, or Siegfried, or if you'd like, Slayer of the Dragon Fafnir. Welcome to the afterlife. What shall I address you as? The woman says to call her Diana. She was a warrior. She was Wonder Woman. Siegfried tosses her a sword, telling her, "I have no doubt about that. Only the bravest make it to this realm." Diana slashes into a man, asking who is their enemy. What is this battle about? And Siegfried stabs a man, stating, "Ours is not the reason why. Ours is to fight or die." Diana asks how is one supposed to die in the afterlife. She'd prefer to know what is going on. Siegfried laughs. "I'm serious. Each night we kill, we die, and we celebrate in the hall. And as each new day dawns, the fallen are restored. Then we make merry and do it again. It's lovely, really. You're going to like it here, warrior." As the man wielding an axe charges in, Diana yells to look out and tries to save him, only to have her head cut off. Siegfried looks down at the headless Wonder Woman. "Oh, what a pity. As everything fades, Diana can hear a voice telling her that this is all wrong. She is in the wrong place, the wrong time. They're not sure why this happened, but she can't stay here. Her powers, they're there. But as quickly as the light fades, it soon returns, and Diana finds herself sitting in the Great Hall again. And Siegfried says, "I'm happy that you have returned to me in one piece." Diana asks, "What? The battle? How did I?" Siegfried pours her some mead, telling her, "The battle was well fought. You made quite an entrance. We'll be talking about your death for years to come. Now, what is this sweaty, loud, stinking place you have come to? Well, this is Valhalla, the finest meat hall in all of Asgard. And you are in need of a beverage, Wonder Woman." Diana takes the drinking horn, stating that she died, though. Siegfried explains that her dying is perfectly normal here. Most of them die a few times every week. She quietly says that she doesn't think the weapons are supposed to hurt her. But Siegfried laughs, telling her, "A warrior with a sense of humor. Come now, a toast to our new sword sister, Diana. As strong as the north wind and twice as deadly. To the Valkyries who carried her home." Everyone in the hall raises their mead, cheering to Diana, to the Valkyries. But as Diana toasts, she states that she didn't see any Valkyries. And Siegfried tells her, "Quite naturally so, you were quite dead, and to that we must drink." Diana begins to pour her mead with haste, but soon begins to cough, asking, what do they brew this stuff with? Siegfried tells her that Odin's son likes it strong. "Come, it is time you were introduced to everyone." As the two make their rounds, it becomes a night full of laughter and smiles as Diana enjoys her newfound home, and an unexpected kiss lands upon Siegfried's lips. Soon everything fades and the voice tells her that she's gone and done it now. Sure, this place is kind of cool, but it's not where you belong. She asks where does she belong. She doesn't even know how she got here. And the voice says that they are nearly out of time. She is Diana of Themyscira and she belongs in... But the voice fades and she wakes up in a bed naked, asking where the hell is she now, and why does her head feel worse than when it was lopped off? Across the room, Siegfried says that the meat is quite good here, and quite potent. You'll develop a tolerance. She quickly covers herself, asking if and he laughs. By Fafnir's teeth, no. I am a man of honor. She begins to get dressed, telling him good. She is too. And Siegfried says, well, we are both two honorable men then. Perhaps we should spar a bit before tonight's battle. It is Diana's turn to laugh, stating that she thanks him, but she'd prefer to take a walk. She has a lot on her mind, and she'd like to see a little of Asgard while the sun is still up. As she walks outside, she begins to feel that something is, well, off. For an instant, she vaguely recalls being able to fly, but in this land, this Asgard, there seems to be new rules. She's going to have to learn them. But even still, the realm was one of beauty, only matched by its danger. New foes that Diana was excited to test her mettle against. Suddenly she hears a chirping sound, and as she draws her blade, a small horned squirrel tells her down here.
We are needing your help. Follow, I will show you.
Diana follows the squirrel, asking who are they, and the squirrel tells her that their name is Ratatosk. She must hurry, see it with her own eyes. As Ratatosk finally comes to a stop, they tell Diana that this big tree is Yggdrasil, World Tree, glorious queen of the parliament, their sweet home, and she is very sick. When she dies, black becomes the sun's beams, the rivers flow with crimson gore, the brothers fight and kill each other, an axe age, a sword age, a wind age, a wolf age. Ragnarok, the end of all things, and only Wonder Woman can help. She stares for a moment, asking who is Wonder Woman. And this Ragnarok does not sound good. Can we ask Yggdrasil what is wrong? Ratatosk says that she speaks too slow for them to understand, but Ratatosk is a messenger. Please, Diana. Diana says that she will try, but then the war horns can be heard and she rushes back to town. A few moments after that, Diana and Siegfried are back on the field, tallying who has the higher kill count when suddenly a troll stomps into the fray. Siegfried laughs, yelling by the 8 hooves of Sleipnir. Look, Thor has broken through Gunjar's line. As Thor tramples through the masses, Siegfried says that they came here to fight, did they not? Let us continue. More and more men fall at Diana's feet, and just like before, she is struck down. The light fades and the voice returns. They tell Diana that it's sinking its teeth into her, that the cycle has already started to wear her down. The longer she stays here, the more times that she dies, the harder it will be to leave. Hold on to your memories, Diana. You are an Olympian. She chases the voice, asking, I am from Olympus? Then how the hell did I get here? The voice tells her that they do not know. The bridge was closed 1,000 years ago. This realm has been on borrowed time for centuries. Yggdrasil's death is a harbinger that their time will soon come to an end. But this has always been their fate. Asgard is doomed, and she is immortal. As Diana blinks, she smiles, stating that she might be getting the hang of this. Siegfried? However, Siegfried doesn't answer. Her friend is missing. She races back down to the battlefield to look for him, but while she turns over bodies, Ratatosk tells her that he is still not out there. The Valkyries never came for him. They leave him to wander the field forever alone, so sad. Remember, Ratatosk hears things like, here the Valkyries are disappearing, and when the Valkyries disappear, the souls are left stranded. Diana says that she will take a guess and state that if she helps them cure Yggdrasil, they'll bring back the missing Valkyries. Ratatosk chirps, stating that they will do that she will have her friend back. She scratches her back, and they scratch hers. But just then she hears a raspy voice calling to her, and she sees Siegfried wandering the field. She calls out, but Siegfried asks if that's her. He cannot see her. He is lost. The fog is rising. He must go in. He is fading. I'm so cold. Help me, Diana. She reaches for him, telling him to hold on, but as he fades to nothing, she tells Ratatosk that they must come. There is a lot of work to be done. Next up, we have The Joker, issue number 1. A long time ago in Chicago, a young Jim Gordon sits in a bar for his going-away party. Though it felt more like a good riddance one since he didn't have the greatest reputation on the force. He'd gotten 5 boys in blue demoted for taking bribes. So his reward was a promotion and a transfer to hell. Let Gotham deal with Jim, they said. Maybe those boys will set him straight. But that wasn't the strangest part of the whole ordeal. It actually came from another office. Danny Ryan. Danny was a heavy-set cop, always wheezing when he spoke, and he asked Jim if he'd ever seen his boogeyman yet. Jim brushed it off, telling him that he'd seen some rough things already, here and in the war. Except that wasn't what Danny was referring to. He went on to state that there comes a time in every cop's life where they come face to face with a horror that they can't get rid of. An evil that every time they close their eyes, they see it as vividly as the day that they came across it. For him, he saw the devil eating the face of a 17-year-old girl. When he saw him, he held up a piece of meat and he asked if he wanted to share. But after drawing his gun, the man threw a knife into his leg and escaped, laughing down the alleyway. Never caught him, though. Spent every damned night trying to find that psycho, and now every time he closes his eyes, he sees that man there, holding out a piece of meat. There's the law, and then there's evil, and when you see evil, you aim for the head. Jim took his leave after that, trying to process just what in the hell he was told. It took a few years for what Danny said to make sense, because these days he sees the damned devil every time he closes his eyes. Eventually, A-Day came, or at least that's what people are calling it. Nearly 500 patients, healthcare workers, and security guards killed in the deadliest gas attack in the history of the United States. It was the death of Arkham Asylum. Reports state that the gas bomb went off at midnight, and most of the deaths happened in the first 5 minutes before any alarm went off. It was an altered version of the classic Joker toxin formula. Victims smiled, but they didn't laugh, so no one could hear it spreading from room to room. They say Batman beat the police to the scene and helped disperse the toxin from the air. But Mayor Nakano directed his men to arrest Batman in lieu of there being anyone else to arrest. Unsuccessfully, mind you. Jeremiah Arkham, Jonathan Crane, Bane, countless others all dead. Reports showed that there was footage of the Joker leaving the asylum during his attack on the city last fall. The running theory now is that the Joker planted these GAD bombs before he left Gotham, setting them to go off months later. He was supposed to be retired, not chasing after some madman once again. But lately, he looks out to see the evil men with his eyes open, and then the laughter when he closes them. Everywhere he looks, all he can see is the Joker's face. What he did to Barbara nearly broke Jim, but she lived and learned to thrive. It's knowing that he played a hand in tipping his son over the line one last time that James had a hard path. He struggled with a deep and powerful evil inside of him. He struggled so that he could stay a part of the Gordon family. But in the end, the Joker knew that he could use James, Jim Gordon's son, as a weapon against him. And so he did. Jim lost his boy, and when he closes his eyes, the devil is laughing at him. However, after seeing James's grave, Jim was approached by a woman and a rather large man. She said that she would like to speak with him regarding the Joker. Taking note of the large man, Jim opens the door, stating, "Yeah, that sounds about right." Later, the woman would bring Jim to a fancy estate, telling him that her name was Cressida. She explains that her sources have recently given her photographs that the Joker was in Belize weeks after his attack on Gotham. Jim asked why would she be showing him all of this and not the police, and Cressida said that the people that she represents thinks that the Joker has reigned terror on Gotham far too long. Rather than wait for his next attack, they'd like to see him taken off the board. They thought that Jim would be the perfect man to hunt him down. He has the most experience with hunting the Joker more than anyone else. He's been tortured in body and soul by this man. The Joker has nearly killed one of his children and instigated the death of another. They can't imagine how much Jim must hate the Joker. Should he accept this, he would be given a bank card with no spending limit for the duration of this mission. Upon completion, they'll deposit $25 million into his personal bank account. Jim asks, "You want to pay me that much money just to capture the man and bring him home?" Cressida says that he misunderstands. If they wanted to put a bounty on the Joker, they'd just coordinate with the authorities. They want him to kill the Joker. Jim asks why would they think that he would agree to this, and Cressida answers him by asking a question. "Do you believe in evil, Jim?" To which he answers yes. Yes, he does. Cressida then says that she understands that this request may be a lot to process, so he has until the end of the week to decide whether to go or not. Just know that he is out there and know that he is planning something. A-Day wasn't the end of the Joker's story, it was only the beginning. In Belize, at that exact moment, Joker reads the Gotham Gazette headline, "Joker's Last Laugh. Arkham Asylum destroyed," and he bursts out laughing. "Oh, this is about to get very interesting, isn't it?" And that concludes our issues for this week's Infinite Frontier Beginnings. Now, Urban Legends, we know in fact is in the correct timeline with the current Batman run. Batman 106 came out last week, so this week we're covering Urban Legends, telling you some of the side stories. And the purpose of that is to give you a chance to be able to get more Red Hood, Grifter, Black Lightning, Katana, these different characters who don't get their own books normally. And when they do get their own books, they kind of don't last. So the idea was to put them all into one book and call it Batman Urban Legends. The Wonder Woman story, I'm super fascinated by Olympian lore, Asgardian lore, that kind of stuff. So I'm super excited for Wonder Woman number 770 and where that's going to be going. The Joker story is a bit interesting. I really like the idea of Jim hunting down the Joker to kill him, but it also appears to be taking place sometime in the future, and since the Joker has theoretically killed like every Batman villain, it's probably not going to be in continuity, but we'll have to take it for what it is. Jim Gordon hunting down the Joker after he killed all of the villains. Let me know which of these three stories you guys liked the most in the comments down below, and also let me know what stories you want us to cover from this week's Infinite Frontier. We're letting you guys pick out 3 to 4 of them, and I'm gonna have that vote going on every week over at our Discord and over at our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. So if you want to be a part of our mini producer tier and choose the content that is coming out on this channel, please consider going over there and joining up with that and helping us pick which superheroes you want to get limelighted, which superheroes you want to finally see. Doing the videos in this manner allows us to do things like a Wonder Woman story or a Grifter story, 2 stories which will probably never get views on this channel unless I lump them into other things. For those of you who want the full stories, don't worry, those are not going away. As these stories come to their conclusion, we'll be taking them and turning them into full stories. So if you don't like this style, you'll still be getting those other videos. And don't worry, the big hitters, Batman, Spider-Man, we're still going to do their stories as a single video. Like the Batman current run with James Tynion will be getting its own video series, just like a Deadpool story and a Spider-Man story. So I know I just explained a lot. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Please consider joining our Discord if you have any questions. Please consider joining our Patreon if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time right here.